Music isn't just sound, it's a feeling, a memory, a revolution. And few figures in history embody that truth more profoundly than the man we celebrate today. Prepare to journey back in time with us as we explore the life, the legend, and the enduring magic of Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll. Music lovers, rock and roll believers, and those who know a true legend when they hear one, welcome to Trending Moment Now. Today, we're diving deep into the life of a man whose voice didn't just sing songs. It rewrote the very DNA of popular music. Yes, folks, we're talking about Elvis Presley, the one and only king of rock and roll. His story is a tapestry woven with dreams, struggles, and an undeniable charisma that still captivates us decades later. Before we kick this off, let me share a little secret handshake for our community. If you believe legends like Elvis should never fade, then give that like button a friendly tap. Think of it as tuning your guitar before the show. It helps more fans join us, and hey, when the algorithm smiles, good things happen. And if you're new here, welcome to the family. Hit that subscribe button, and let's keep the music alive together, honoring the artists who shaped our world. This isn't just a video, it's a tribute, a historical document, and a celebration of a true American icon. Elvis Aaron Presley wasn't born in a palace. In fact, he came into this world on January 8, 1935, in a tiny two-room shotgun house in Tupelo, Mississippi. His family was so poor they couldn't afford luxury. They were happy just to get by, often moving to find work. His twin brother, Jesse Garon Presley, was stillborn, leaving Elvis an only child, a fact that profoundly shaped his early life and his deep bond with his mother Gladys. Can you imagine the quiet solitude, the weight of that early loss, influencing a young boy? That sense of loneliness, coupled with an innate sensitivity, made him deeply attached to his parents, especially his mother. He grew up quiet, shy, and often found solace in the sounds around him. What's truly fascinating, and this is something I truly admire, is how music came to him naturally, almost as a lifeline. His first instrument? Not a shiny, expensive guitar. It was his voice in church, singing gospel songs that filled his soul and the small, humble spaces of the Assembly of God. This early exposure to gospel music, with its powerful harmonies and emotional delivery, laid the foundational rhythm for his future sound. Later, his mother bought him a simple, inexpensive guitar for his 11th birthday because a bicycle was too expensive. That decision, right there, a small act of parental love, unknowingly changed music history forever. From that moment on, Elvis wasn't just a kid from Tupelo. He was a dream in the making, strumming chords and humming melodies, absorbing the sounds of the South. He listened to country music, rhythm and blues, and the gospel that was his spiritual bedrock. This rich, diverse musical diet would soon become the ingredients for a revolutionary new sound. He moved to Memphis with his family in 1948, a city that was a vibrant melting pot of musical styles, further fueling his artistic development. Here's something to think about. Greatness often comes from humble beginnings, from places where dreams are forged out of necessity and passion. Elvis didn't start with fame. He started with faith, family, and a cheap guitar. He was a shy, polite boy who loved his mama and found his voice in the most unexpected places. That's the beauty of his story. It tells us talent knows no address, and destiny can be found in the simplest of gifts. It's a testament to the American dream, born from the heartland. What's your favorite Elvis song? Drop it in the comments. Did you know about his twin brother? Fast forward to 1953, a young, nervous Elvis walks into Sun Records in Memphis, a small, independent label run by the visionary Sam Phillips. He wanted to make a record for his mom's birthday, a personal gift, costing just a few dollars. Phillips, always on the lookout for a new sound, for a white singer who could capture the raw energy of black rhythm and blues, heard something different in Elvis's voice. Something raw, something electric, something utterly unique. He knew he was on the cusp of something monumental. It wasn't until July 1954, during a recording session with guitarist Scotty Moore and bassist Bill Black, that the magic truly happened. They were struggling with a ballad, and during a break, Elvis started fooling around with an up-tempo version of Arthur Crudup's blues song, That's All Right. Scotty and Bill joined in, and Sam Phillips, hearing the spontaneous combustion of country, blues, and pure youthful exuberance, knew he had found it. Music changed forever in that tiny studio. Think about this. Rock and roll didn't just happen. It was born in that small studio when country met rhythm and blues and gospel, infused with a rebellious spirit. Elvis didn't invent those genres, but he blended them like nobody else could, creating a sound that was both familiar and utterly alien to the mainstream. That fusion was revolutionary, a cultural earthquake. And people, especially the older generation, didn't know how to handle it. It was too loud, too fast, too sensual. And let's not forget the hips. Oh yes, the famous hips. When Elvis performed, he didn't just sing. He moved with an uninhibited, almost primal energy that was scandalous for the conservative 1950s. His gyrating hips, his swagger, his raw sexuality, it was a direct challenge to the staid norms of the era. Some TV shows, like The Ed Sullivan Show, famously filmed him only from the waist up because apparently Elvis's pelvis was a national emergency, deemed too provocative for family viewing. Imagine being so iconic, so groundbreaking, that network executives panic over your dance moves. That's not just fame, that's cultural shock therapy, a seismic shift in what was considered acceptable. He wasn't just performing, he was liberating a generation, giving them permission to feel, to move, to express themselves. This wasn't just entertainment, it was a social phenomenon, a breaking of barriers that had long confined popular music and youth culture. His impact on music and society was immediate and irreversible. Which Elvis dance move is your favorite? The knee shake? The hip swivel? Tell us in the comments. What was your first reaction to seeing him move? When Elvis hit the scene, it was like a meteor strike, a cultural explosion that reverberated across America and beyond. Teenagers, especially young women, worshipped him with an intensity never before seen for a musical artist. They screamed, they cried, they fainted, a phenomenon that would later be dubbed Elvis Mania. Parents, on the other hand, often panicked, seeing him as a dangerous influence, a symbol of rebellion and moral decay. Preachers preached against him from pulpits, condemning his music as the devil's music. And what happens when society tries to stop something so powerful, so inherently appealing to a generation yearning for change? It becomes unstoppable. Elvis wasn't just a singer. He was a cultural revolution in blue suede shoes, a symbol of youth rebellion against the established order. He gave a voice and a rhythm to the burgeoning teenage identity, a generation that felt misunderstood and constrained. His music was their anthem of freedom. His early hits, Heartbreak Hotel, his first RCA single, which shot to #1 in 1956, Hound Dog, a blues song he transformed into a rock and roll classic, and Blue Suede Shoes, Carl Perkins's rockabilly anthem that Elvis made his own, weren't just songs. They were declarations, anthems of freedom for an entire generation. They topped charts, broke sales records, and became the soundtrack to a new era. And let's be honest, he didn't just sing them. He performed them with a fire, a passion, and a raw energy nobody had ever seen before, making each song an unforgettable experience. He was the embodiment of rock and roll, a force of nature. Elvis could have stayed on stage, touring relentlessly, and ruled the music world alone. But his manager, the enigmatic Colonel Tom Parker, had bigger plans, seeing Elvis as a multi-platform star. Hollywood called, and the King answered, embarking on a film career that would span over a decade. Over the years, he starred in 31 feature films, some romantic comedies, some musical dramas, some fun, well, let's just say the scripts weren't always Oscar-worthy. But Elvis? He lit up every frame, his charisma undeniable, even when the material was weak. Films like Love Me Tender, Jailhouse Rock, and King Creole became iconic, cementing his image as a movie star. And then came 1958, the peak of his early career, when Uncle Sam drafted him into the United States Army. Now, pause for a second and truly consider the magnitude of this. Imagine you're the biggest star in the world, adored by millions, a cultural phenomenon, and you receive your draft notice. Most celebrities of his stature would have sought special treatment, a cushy assignment, or an exemption. But Elvis didn't. He said, "Sure, I'll serve." He didn't ask for special treatment, didn't pull strings. He cut his famous hair, traded his flashy clothes for a military uniform, and became Private Presley, served as a regular soldier in the U.S. Army from 1958 to 1960 in Friedberg, West Germany. This act of patriotism, of humility, resonated deeply with the American public. It showed a different side of the rebellious rock and roller, earning him immense respect and solidifying his image as a true American hero. That's why he wasn't just famous. He was respected, a man who put duty before celebrity. His time in the Army, though a hiatus from his career, only deepened his legend and endeared him further to a nation that admired his commitment. By the late 1960s, the musical landscape had shifted dramatically. The British invasion, folk music, and psychedelic rock dominated the airwaves. Elvis, largely confined to making formulaic movies and soundtracks, seemed to be losing his edge. The world was asking, is Elvis still the king? Has he been forgotten? Doubts began to creep in, even among his most loyal fans. And then came the 1968 comeback special, officially titled Elvis. It was a television event that wasn't just a concert. It was a resurrection, a defiant roar. Dressed in iconic black leather, surrounded by a small, intimate band and a live audience, Elvis didn't just return. He roared back with an intensity and raw power that reminded everyone exactly who he was. That performance wasn't just a concert. It was a statement. I'm still here. I'm still the king. And I'm better than ever. The special featured electrifying acoustic sets, where he reinterpreted his early hits with a bluesy, soulful edge and powerful gospel numbers. His voice was stronger, his stage presence more commanding, his charisma radiating through the television screens. It was a raw, authentic, and utterly captivating performance that silenced all critics and reignited his career. And let me tell you, no one ever questioned his reign again. The '68 comeback special is widely regarded as one of the greatest musical performances in television history, a pivotal moment that redefined his legacy and proved his timeless appeal. It was a moment of pure, unadulterated rock and roll magic. If you could watch Elvis perform live in any era, which would you pick? The raw energy of the 50s, the comeback power of '68, or the spectacle of Vegas? Comment below. Following the triumph of the '68 comeback, Elvis embarked on a new chapter, one that would define his image for millions: Las Vegas. Elvis in Vegas wasn't just a concert. It was an experience, a grand spectacle unlike anything seen before. From 1969 until his final years, he performed hundreds of sold-out shows at the International Hotel, later the Las Vegas Hilton, breaking attendance records and cementing his status as the ultimate showman. The jumpsuits, meticulously designed and often adorned with rhinestones and intricate embroidery, became synonymous with his Vegas era. The capes, the dramatic entrances, the powerful band, the full orchestra, the gospel-infused backing vocals. He turned a show into a theatrical spectacle, a larger-than-life event. He commanded the stage with an unparalleled presence, effortlessly blending rock and roll, gospel, country, and pop into a seamless, exhilarating performance. Some critics at the time said he was over the top, that the glamour overshadowed the music. I say he was ahead of his time, a visionary who understood the power of spectacle in live entertainment. Today's superstar tours, with their elaborate sets, costume changes, and dramatic flair, they owe a big thank you to Elvis Presley. He set the standard for what a modern concert could be, transforming the live music experience into an immersive, unforgettable event. He connected with his audience on a deeply personal level, often interacting with fans, throwing scarves, and sharing intimate moments. This era showcased his incredible vocal range and his ability to captivate any audience, anywhere. Elvis left us on August 16, 1977, at just 42 years old. His passing sent shockwaves around the world, plunging millions into mourning. It was too young, far too young for a man who had given so much, who had lived so intensely. The pressures of fame, the relentless touring schedule and personal struggles had taken their toll, leading to health complications that ultimately claimed his life. His death marked the end of an era, but not the end of his influence. But legends like Elvis don't truly die. They echo through time, their voices and spirits living on in the hearts of generations. Every time you hear that opening line of "Can't Help Falling in Love" or the raw power of "Suspicious Minds," he's right there with you, his voice filling the air, touching your soul. His music didn't just fill rooms, it filled generations, transcending boundaries of age, race, and geography. His impact on popular culture, fashion, and music is immeasurable, a testament to his enduring genius. And here's what I believe, what truly defines his legacy. Elvis wasn't perfect. He was a human being with struggles, flaws, and pain, just like all of us. He faced immense pressure, loneliness, and the burden of being the king. But through it all, he gave the world everything he had, pouring his heart and soul into every performance, every song. He shared his vulnerability, his joy, and his passion with an open heart. And that's what makes him the king. Not just the crown, the fame, or the wealth, but the sacrifice, the authenticity, and the profound emotional connection he forged with millions. His music continues to inspire, comfort, and entertain, proving that true artistry is immortal. He remains a beacon of American music, a true original. Beyond the stage and the spotlight, Elvis was a man of fascinating quirks and generous spirit. Let's uncover some lesser-known facts about the king. He bought Cadillacs for strangers, often on a whim, just because he could, a testament to his incredible generosity and desire to share his wealth. He once bought a Cadillac for a woman who admired his car in a dealership. He loved karate and even had a black belt. He saw it as a form of spiritual discipline and physical fitness, incorporating some of its movements into his stage performances. He was a serious practitioner, even teaching it to others. He recorded over 700 songs, a staggering number showcasing his prolific output and versatility across genres. Yet, he never wrote any of them, relying on his incredible interpretive skills to make each song his own. He once flew across states just for a sandwich, the famous Fool's Gold Loaf, a massive calorie-laden creation from Denver, Colorado, filled with peanut butter, jelly, and bacon. He loved his comfort food. He was a huge fan of gospel music. It was his first love, and he often sang gospel with his band backstage, finding solace and joy in its spiritual power. He won 3 Grammy Awards, all for his gospel recordings. He had a deep respect for his fans, often staying for hours after shows to sign autographs and meet them, despite the exhaustion. He genuinely appreciated their loyalty and love. He was a twin. As we mentioned, his identical twin brother, Jesse Garin, was stillborn. This loss profoundly affected him and his parents, creating a unique bond within the family. He was a collector, from police badges to guns. He had a fascination with various items, reflecting his diverse interests and playful nature. Which fun fact surprised you the most? Tell me below. Did you know about his love for gospel music? So, what's Elvis's greatest legacy? For me, it's simple. He proved that music can unite us all, transcending generations and backgrounds. Doesn't matter your race, your background, your generation, whether you're a baby boomer who grew up with him, a Gen Xer discovering his raw energy, or a young music lover appreciating his historical impact. When Elvis sang, the whole world listened. He broke down racial barriers in music, bringing black rhythm and blues to a wider white audience, forever changing the sound of popular music. His influence is still heard today in countless artists, his style still seen in fashion, and his spirit still felt in the heart of rock and roll. He was more than a singer. He was a cultural phenomenon, a true American original. He gave us permission to be a little rebellious, a little passionate, and a lot more alive. His story is a powerful reminder that one voice, one talent, can truly change the world. If this tribute brought back cherished memories, if it made you smile, or if it taught you something new about the King, then do me that little favor. Hit that like button. It's like a secret handshake that keeps the King's spirit alive. Drop a comment about your favorite Elvis moment, your favorite song, or what he means to you. And if you're new, Hit subscribe and join our growing family here at Trending Moment. Now, share this video with a friend who loves music, with someone who needs a dose of nostalgia, or with anyone who appreciates a true legend. Because legends like Elvis deserve to be remembered, celebrated, and kept alive for generations to come. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the life of the one and only King. Thank you, Elvis. The King lives on,